They care about food, they care about housing, they care about money for medication, money for schools. That's all they care about. They care about security. They don't care about hotels. So this is just elite think. This is how elites, how they think. This is something appropriate for them because these are the people who sleep in hotels. So this video is about a couple of announcements that were made by the government of South Sudan, and they are good announcements. I think they are part of modernizing, standardizing issues, institutions, and this many sectors in South Sudan. So on face value, we can welcome them. But they also raise some problems because they are not priorities. The country is being run for the interests of the elite, not for the average South Sudanese. Cabinet approves $120,000 for hotel classification in South Sudan. So that's one of the announcements I was talking about. The other one is Cabinet approves 28 million for new air traffic management system. So I'll come back to this. Now, the issue with the hotels, on face value, we can say this is a good thing because if you pay for a 5-star hotel, you should get the service of that level. You shouldn't pay for a 5-star hotel and then you get the service of 1-star hotel. Hotels that charge people for the services of 5-star hotel and then they provide you shorter services, then that's something that should not be welcome. So on face value, that's a good thing. But the question that we have to ask ourselves is, how many South Sudanese actually care about this? The South Sudanese who are struggling to feed their children, they're struggling to send their children to school, they're struggling to find some money to pay for medications. So we have immediate problems that South Sudanese care about, not hotels. As much as this is something that is appropriate for, the new state, this is not something that is a priority in the lives of South Sudanese. I have relatives in South Sudan, and I don't think classifying hotels is one of the things they care about. They care about food, they care about housing, they care about money for medication, money for schools. That's all they care about. They care about security. They don't care about hotels. So this is just elite think. This is how elites, how they think. This is something appropriate for them because these are the people who sleep in hotels. And as many of you know, many of the leaders do not actually sleep at home. They sleep in hotels. And these hotels are actually paid by the government. So this is, as much as this is something we can welcome as part of professionalizing the sector, it is not a priority for South Sudanese. And then the issue of air traffic management system. This, I can compromise on this, even if I know it's not a priority because there are many immediate problems within South Sudan. But here's the issue. Since South Sudan became independent, the South Sudanese airspace is controlled by Sudan. And we know now Sudan is a mess. And when foreign dignitaries came to South Sudan, the airspace is controlled by countries as far as South Africa. So that's a security problem for South Sudan. So any country, any foreign agent can fly over South Sudan, and there's nothing South Sudanese can do because they don't control the airspace. So for security reasons, we can agree with South Sudanese state that this is something that has to be done to buy equipment for the control of airspace. So that's okay. The second thing which Michael McQuay also mentioned is that it can also generate revenue because any foreign plane that is using the South Sudanese airspace has to pay for the usage. So that can actually generate funds. And South Sudan is in a very, I think, strategic place. So that can bring in some revenue for the state. Now, my question is whether this revenue is going to be used for the benefit of South Sudanese or it will just be used for the benefit of the elite. But I think controlling our airspace is crucial for security reason. Also, some revenue that can come to South Sudan. But the question is, for security, I don't think the major security risks for South Sudan are outside South Sudan. They are not outside South Sudan. They are inside South Sudan. We have intercommunal violence. We have issues to do with salaries not being paid on time. And I'm really, really surprised. South Sudanese are very resilient. They're not paid for months, more than a year without salary, but these people are quiet. They don't go into the street to demonstrate. It's amazing. We have flood. We have cholera now. These are security risks in South Sudan. So it's not just external problem, but inside South Sudan, we have rebels in South Sudan. So these are the immediate problems the South Sudanese state has to solve. External enemy is not the main problem. That's not the main problem. Because if South Sudan is internally divided, then external enemies can easily crush South Sudan. So as much as these two are things we can welcome, they are not the priority now. But we understand for the sake of sovereignty of South Sudan, we can say, okay, controlling our airspace is a good idea. But given the fact that South Sudanese have gone for months without being paid, is paying 28 million to buy the equipment for air control management the right thing to do when South Sudanese are not being paid? Civil servants are not being paid? Think about that. We have to have priorities. It's not a good idea to sort of buy these things so we control our airspace and we feel good. When kids have nothing to eat, they cannot go to school, they cannot go to see a doctor. Think about that.